Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's update on Hurricane Fiona. So, Hurricane Fiona remains a powerful Category 4 hurricane, and as of 8 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, Thursday, September the 22nd, uh, Hurricane Fiona has maximum sustained winds at 130 miles per hour, a minimum central pressure of 934 millibars, and north-northeasterly movement at 13 miles per hour. Looking at the cone for Hurricane Fiona, uh, Hurricane Fiona is expected to rapidly move northeast towards Bermuda throughout the day today, and over the next 24 to 36 hours, my friends in Bermuda, you're going to be seeing deteriorating weather conditions as rain bands and the winds start to increase. And by about overnight tonight, overnight tonight, you can expect the worst conditions in Bermuda. We now have a hurricane warning in effect for Bermuda, as the storm is now expected to pass just slightly closer, bringing the hurricane force winds very close to Bermuda now. And after passing north of Bermuda, as we approach Friday night and Saturday, um, Fiona is expected to uh, move into southeastern Nova Scotia as a very powerful post-tropical cyclone, and is expected to bring winds of 75 to 100 miles per hour to southeast Nova Scotia. So make sure you are battening down the hatches in southeastern Nova Scotia and preparing for a major storm, possibly a historic storm, Saturday and Sunday. And by Sunday, uh, Fiona is expected to move into southeastern mainland Canada, just west of Newfoundland. Looking at the satellite imagery of Fiona, Fiona is still looking very impressive on satellite. It still has the eye. The eye has actually become a little bit better defined in the last several hours, as it likely underwent an eye wall replacement cycle last night. And we're seeing convection all around the eye. Most of the convection is on the east and the northeast, which is why in Bermuda, uh, you're going to likely be seeing rain well in advance of Hurricane Fiona, and um, the rain will continue for the next probably 24 hours on and off for Bermuda as Fiona approaches from the southwest. Looking at the spaghetti model plots, Fiona is expected to pass about 100 to 150 miles northwest of Bermuda in the next 18 to 24 hours. And in the next 48 hours, all the models uh, agree on a southeastern Nova Scotia landfall as a powerful either hurricane or hurricane equivalent extratropical cyclone. It doesn't matter if it's a hurricane or extratropical. The impacts are going to be very significant across much of Nova Scotia, especially southeastern Nova Scotia, and then into New Brunswick in the next 60 to 72 hours. It's going to likely hit southeastern mainland Canada. And in 96 to 120 hours, this thing is going to go way to the north, near west of Greenland. And looking at the intensity model guidance plots, by the time it's reaching Canada, it is expected to still have winds of Category 1 to 2 strength of about 75 to 105 miles per hour in the next 48 to 60 hours. So make sure you are battening down the hatches in Canada. As for Bermuda, we're still going to be likely dealing with a strong end Category 3 hurricane once Fiona moves by you to the west. And now, looking at the tropical storm wind probabilities, Bermuda, my friends, you are almost guaranteed to see tropical storm force winds from Fiona, as you have a greater than 90% chance of seeing tropical storm force winds. And for my friends in Canada, in eastern Nova Scotia, you have about an 80 to 100% chance of seeing tropical storm force winds now. In central Nova Scotia, you have about a 50 to 80% chance, and in western Nova Scotia, you have about a 30 to 50% chance of seeing tropical storm force winds from Hurricane Fiona. In central western Newfoundland, you have about a 50 to 80% chance. The chances dramatically increase the further west you go on Newfoundland. And now, even in eastern mainland Canada, you now have a 40 to 60% chance of seeing tropical storm force winds from Fiona. And these are going to continue to increase as Fiona gets closer. Looking at the hurricane force wind probabilities, Bermuda, as of right now, you guys still just have a 10 to 20% chance of hurricane force winds, but these winds come within about 20 to 30 miles, which is why a hurricane warning is in effect. If Fiona wobbles just 25 to 30 miles to the east, you're going to be seeing hurricane force winds from this, my friends in Bermuda. So I would be preparing for hurricane conditions regardless if you live in Bermuda. Like I said, you have ridden out many major hurricanes before, so you know what to do. Just stay sheltered in place as Fiona moves by to the west. And then in Canada, the chances for hurricane force winds, we now have a 30 to 50% chance of hurricane force winds in southeastern Nova Scotia, about 10 to 20% in central Nova Scotia, and then the chances are still low in western New Brunswick, about 5 to 10%, but these are going to dramatically increase as Hurricane Fiona gets closer. And then same with southeastern mainland Canada. You're likely going to see your hurricane force wind probabilities increase over the next several hours. And then finally, looking at the rainfall totals, looking at the European model moves Fiona further west from Bermuda, only bringing about 1 to 2 inches to the island. And as for my friends in southeastern Canada, Nova Scotia, you can expect 3 to 7 inches of rain, with the highest totals being in eastern Nova Scotia. New Brunswick, about 2 to 5 inches, and southeastern mainland Canada, about 2 to 4 inches. We could even be seeing 1 to 3 inches of rain across eastern Maine and New Brunswick now. And then looking at the GFS model, the GFS model is bringing a closer passage to Bermuda, where the GFS is putting as much as 2 to 3 inches in the island of Bermuda. And then in Nova Scotia, the GFS is putting about 3 to 7 inches as well across much of Nova Scotia, about 3 to 6 in central western Newfoundland, and 2 to 5 across eastern mainland Canada, and 1 to 3 in New Brunswick and Maine. So if you are in Bermuda, prepare for tropical storm and possibly hurricane conditions in the next 18 to 24 hours. And then if you live in areas like Nova Scotia and western Newfoundland, prepare for hurricane conditions in the next 36 to 52 hours. And I will continue to watch Fiona, make another update tomorrow morning on it. Thanks for watching this morning's tropical update, and have a wonderful day, my friends.